It is I, the King of Champs, the CHAMP of the D, along with my co-host Garrett, the CHUMP of the D. How we doing today, folks? I brought here my Garrett's new best friend, his favorite chiropractor. How we doing today, Garrett?
I've been better.
Yeah,
and believe it or not, just so everyone knows, okay? Well, I was toughening up after all these ass kickings.
Yeah, keep stuttering.
Oh well, you know, I'm in pain over here, man.
Yeah, probably a little
Yeah, I was
PTSD
fine.
too.
I was fine after last week's vicious attack. Thank you, but you know what? I don't even know why I keep letting you come back. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Letting me come back?
Why do I let you come back to co-host the show? Like it's ridiculous.
It's in my contract that I signed. I'm the co-host of the show.
Yeah, but nowhere in the contract does it say that you can, like, you know, put me in a chokehold or, you know, beat me with a kendo stick.
And nowhere in the contract does it say where I can't do that. Okay?
Anyways, I was actually fine after last week, where you also beat up one of our what possessed you to beat up
Speaking
one of
of
our
which,
sponsors?
I need to post an apology to Demetrius. I am sorry for hitting you with the kendo stick. It was unprofessional, and it is something that I shouldn't have done. Right? That's what the lawyer said. Okay. And I will never put hands upon you again unless it's in self-defense.
That just sounded so sincere.
I mean every word of it,
Okay.
so I don't go to jail.
And so other people know, I was actually fine until I get home on Sunday from work. I'm taking the garbage out, and what happens? I see two people in masks coming up. I think it's trick-or-treaters. Who is it? And then I realized, oh no, these guys are humongous. Who is it? It's Des and Troy. Joe, they stuffed me in my own garbage can.
I told them to go to your house and take the trash out. I was trying to help your wife out with chores, who apparently is a big fan of the CHAMP. I don't know if you saw on the Facebook page how.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but you took a picture with my boo, so I took a picture with yours.
Oh, you mean the captain over there who? Yeah, he can go do some stuff to himself. He's another loser that live around here. Yeah. But your wife definitely enjoyed taking pictures with the champ, buddy. Just saying.
I'm sure. All right.
But speaking of Sunday, how about Saturday night when my girlfriend's doing dishes and you post one of your stupid Grim videos again? Like,
Joe,
like,
that is
stop.
not me. How many times?
Yeah,
I went live from Troy.
Listen.
Live.
I'm going to refrain from kicking your ass again right now because you obviously physically can't handle all these ass kickings. But anyway, I don't care if it was you. I know you're orchestrating this whole nonsense. So quit it. I'm going to keep my cool right now because of legal things, because of last week's. But let's just go on with damn show, okay?
Okay. Well, we actually have
a guest today.
So,
we have a guest.
So you know what? Let's get right to him. We got. Hold on one second here, and we have Blaze Haram is on the line. Thank you for joining us, sir.
What's going on, Jerk Jobs? The pleasure's all yours as always, man. What's going on? Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, you know what? We appreciate you having on. So people who may not know, and you should know, that this is the North. I'm sorry. This is
Get it correct. Start all over. Start all over, Garrett. Start all over.
Okay, I'm going. This is the Middle Eastern champion.
There we go.
Of
Good boy.
ICW. Okay.
That's right. You're looking at him.
He's representing being heels over strong.
Look at that.
So yeah. Well, again, thank you for joining us, sir. We really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. The pleasure's all yours.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
So now, hold on one second. I met you at your first ICW show. It happened to be, I think it was my second show. You even cut a promo. We shared it. It was big. It was your big entrance. You came in and you just took ICW by storm.
That's correct.
So was that your first foray into into wrestling itself, or had you been in other federations and you just?
No, I've been working before that. That was actually my debut at ICW. But you know, I was discovered by this old white infidel, Mr. Man. You know, he discovered me, you know, training one time and invited me over to ICW, and the rest is history.
That's true. So you've taken it by storm.
I guess you could say
you used to. So obviously, yeah, you used to run with Mr. Man, right? Now we didn't see him for a while, and he popped back up at the last ICW show. And if anyone follows our page, you'll see he was trying to cut a promo on you and Ben Hameen, and that it didn't work out so well for him. So lead us into why you had to drop Mr. Man in the first place.
All right, well, listen, first off, I want to start with, all right, Mr. Man discovered me, yeah, you know, brought me to ICW, but I'm going to be honest and I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. The times that Mr. Man was in my corner, he caused me my matches. I used to lose because of him, not because of me. It was always because of him. So I decided to take my business elsewhere. It's business, always personal. And with Ben Hameen and the Conspiracy Horseman, it's been nothing but leveling up since then. I'm holding championships, and we've just been taking ICW by storm. And ain't nothing anybody's going to do a goddamn thing about it.
That is undeniable.
We run ICW, and that's inshallah.
Well, that's
And as far as Mr. Man goes, a couple months back, his old ass was talking about, I'm retiring, I'm this, I'm that. All right, good, retire. Keep your old ass at home. All of a sudden, he wants to show up at ICW, talk about people owe him shit. Nobody owes him anything. It's business, always personal.
Okay. Wow.
So you got a little beef there with the
yeah. Well, again,
manager.
Anyone needs to.
There's no beef. Mr. Man got beef with himself. He got beef with himself because ain't no beef here. You know what I said? You know, it's always business. You know?
Good.
So if Mr. Man feels like he got heat and he got some beef, he's beefing with himself. The old man got issues, clearly.
Gotcha.
Okay, so now I've talked about it on the show here before, that it seems like you and Rick Recon are locked in this eternal battle. I know you guys have wrestled a ton in ICW, and I know that you guys have wrestled a ton even outside. And now I know that I happen to find out that he's actually not going to be able to he's not medically cleared to be there on the 20th because of injuries sustained in this last match. So how
let me
do
give
you
you a
feel
little
about everything going with Rick Recon?
Before I get going, you know, fuck Rick Recon, as always. You know what I'm saying? But before I get going, our battle has been going on for 2 years. 2 fucking years. For these 2 years, we've taken this battle to 5 different states, 8 different promotions. Starting at Immortal Championship Wrestling, and we brought it back home to Immortal Championship Wrestling in this past show in a Last Man Standing match. We've done Last Man Standing. We've battled inside a cage full of barbed wires with no ropes. And, you know, just think of Batman and Joker when you think of Blaze, Haram, and Recon, man. The battle never ends. A chapter might be closed, but it's just opportunity to open a new chapter and continue this war.
So, and again, with the injury sustained, I know, because I spoke with him very briefly, he did bring up the fact that, you know, there's a lot of conspiracy horsemen interference. Right. And that he may have even said that you can't beat them without them, beat him without them. Now, those aren't my words.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Rick said that on the show, a month ago? Month and a half ago?
Yeah, when he was on before.
There's no way you could beat him clean, I believe is what he said.
I wish I had a box of Kleenex here so I could send over to Rick Recon, because it's obviously I beat him, you know, and I'm the type, I win by any means. So if it involves the Conspiracy Horseman winning, hey, I got the W. Better luck next time. If he knew better, he would do better. Obviously, he don't, because who's the champ? Who still has the title around their waist? I do, not him.
Yeah, that's undeniable. You know, their shtick is heels over strong. I mean,
See, let me tell you something
should be ready.
Let me tell you something about this Greek and Sheik connection, this united front here over strong with the conspiracy horsemen that we got. You know, unlike all these other busters that you see in the business who are in it for themselves, we work as a unit. You know, so when it comes to the wins, we win by any means.
I can understand that.
Yeah, if anyone knows, it's definitely Joe over here.
That's how the D squad works.
All right, so then speaking of the conspiracy horsemen, I mean, right now, you guys have all of the gold in ICW, all of it.
That's right.
You have it was known as the Northeast. Now it's the Middle Eastern Champion.
It's the Middle Eastern Championship. It wasn't known as the Northeast. That's just what the plate says on the title. But it's the Middle Eastern Championship.
Right.
Mike King just has a problem getting it into his head. But it's the Middle Eastern Championship.
Yeah. As we know now, Ben Hameen has the 24 title. Megan Bain has
Bring that back. It's the 9/11 championship, not the 24/7. 9/11.
Yeah. My apologies for not being informed on the right things. Now, Megan Bain is the women's champ, and
yes, she is.
As we know, GGP, is still running strong as the ICW champ, as well as
the greatest ICW heavyweight champion that ICW has ever witnessed.
Right, as well as also being Alpha and Ronin champ. I mean, he's been running with. I've seen him every time I've seen him in the past couple of years he's had all three of those belts. I mean, he's a triple champion. He's got 3 companies he's ruling right now. I mean, that you guys are running heels over strong right now. It's crazy.
Let's talk about Ben's suspension. Didn't Ben get suspended this past weekend?
Ben did get suspended. Blaze, obviously, he wasn't out there. He had nothing to do with that at that point. So I
left to the building because after our last man standing match, I sustained some injuries as well. So
right.
I went to get checked, but apparently I heard that good old Mike King suspended the Ayatollah bin Hameen and the Greek god Papadon over the weekend.
He did. They kind of beat up Demetrios, and when I say kind of, I mean
he probably deserved it.
I mean, as someone who's taking a kendo stick to Demetrios, it's not like he doesn't deserve it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try and argue with you guys about it. So yeah. So is there any future plans that you guys have other than just continuing to just roll over the ruling? Essentially, you guys be the ruling class in ICW.
You see it. We are the ruling class in ICW, and we plan on keeping it that way. And I had a little message this past Saturday, at a post-match promo I cut after we dismantled this old infidel Mr. Man. And I let that immortal locker room know that no matter who Mike King brings my way, the results are always going to be the same. I'm the reigning Middle Eastern champion, and it's going to be like that, and it's going to stay that way. And that's inshallah. So Mike King, if you're hearing me, bring me anybody you got, because the results are always going to be the same. You know it. I want all the smoke.
Well, he does watch. He'll be seeing that, and as far as we know, no, he is not named your opponent for the next show. Am I correct? Unless I've missed something.
He hasn't.
All right, so that remains to be seen. Now, all the news they share, we share. So as soon as it happens, we'll know, and that'll be maybe we can get your take on that.
I'll definitely be in the building November 20th at Immortal Things.
Yeah. So now we've gotten to a lot through with you. We were wondering if you wanted to stay with us and join us in the rest of the wrestling world news, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
We have a new segment that we have where we're going to be another one of our affiliates.
Captain Samuels.
He's going to be giving us a hot take every Wrestle Fandom Radio. And then we got some other news we'd like to get to after that. So, yeah, I appreciate you sticking around. So let's present the very first Captain's Corner here, all right? And we will be right back to discuss.
All right. Let's get it.
Mr. Champ, my brother, you're what I call a dreamer. You don't realize what's going on in the real world. You know, we talk on the phone, we chat, and you send me some stupid message like, WWE better be ready for the war that they're in with AEW. And I get what you're saying. You know, I'm actually a fan of AEW more than WWE, but I'm also in my mid-30s. And it's really hard for AEW to compete with the war chest that WWE still has. You know, people like you, Champ, you know, live in the fantasy world, don't realize that in one event, WWE clears more money than AEW will make all year. Okay, take Crown Jewel, for example, 2019. Got handed a $60 million paycheck for one event. In 2020, AEW made $64 million, mostly off their TV deal. So let's go 2021, Crown Jewel just happened. My guess is 60 million goes to about, what, 75 million now? So that's just one event. Think all year long what they make, it's billions. Everything that Vince McMahon wants, he gets. He wants AEW to be successful because at the height of wrestling, there was a war going on. He's allowed this to happen. He's released his wrestlers. He's strategic about it. He let Chris Jericho go on Stone Cold's podcast on WWE Network. What person is worried about a war would do that? He needs us mid-30 guys to get back into wrestling. And it's working. We love AEW. Now, we have kids. We're going to watch wrestling with our kids. We're not going to watch AEW with our kids. They're going to start off WWE. What's that start? T-shirts, toys, live events. We're going to spend our money getting our kids into wrestling. It's a lot like the sporting car world. Okay, sporting cars took a shit for about 10, 15 years. What happened was, you know, people in our mid-30s, they used to collect as a kid. Now our kids are collecting cards. And it's basically the same thing that's happening with wrestling. Vince McMahon isn't stupid. Vince McMahon is a chess player. Okay, everyone else is playing checkers. Okay, Tony Khan, he's rich, but that's daddy's money. Vince McMahon, that's all his money. You can't beat him. The only way to beat him is when he's 6 feet under. So, I love AEW. I love the product that they're trying to put out, but there is no war. Okay, Champ? Keep living in the fantasy world. You guys have a good one. Hot take from Captain Sam's. Bye.
Okay, so this is what I gotta say to that.
Boy, he fired right at you.
You got this dude who looks like Tim Allen when he's in denial that he's Santa Claus in the Santa Claus.
My man's face took over the screen.
No, and he's sitting there like he don't understand it. The thing is with Vince McMahon is very, very content. And he thinks that he has complete control over everything. You look in history, every empire, every general, every army that ends up losing, they look at the little guy and they're like, oh, nah, I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to let him run wild. And what happens every single time? Guess what? The Roman Empire fell. The Ottoman Empire fell. Everybody falls. So AEW might not be clearing the checks that WWE's right now, but it's only a matter of time. Whether it be before Vince is 6 feet under, I don't know. But tell you what, that product alone is about 1 million times better than what WWE is putting out right now. Because what WWE is putting out right now is absolute garbage. They take anybody worth a dime in that company and they bury them. Where you got AEW, who they're grooming the new guys, using the old guys the right way. And then you got guys like Matt who's just thinking about the money. Yeah, $60 million for Crown Jewel. Okay, so you got a country willing to pay that. You're telling me in 10 years they're not going to pay that to AEW instead when they got higher numbers? Get out of here. I get where he's getting at, but he don't know what the hell he's talking about in the long run. He's thinking that Vince is on top because Vince has been on top. You're telling me Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, everybody else in that company, they're not hungry? The fact that they're losing right now is going to make him even hungrier. It's only a matter of time.
Right. They are, because, you know, yes, the money is one thing, but like you said, the product is undeniably better right now. And the ratings, they're starting to take over in the ratings as well. Blaze, how do you feel about that? You agree with the champ here? You think he's right? The AEW has a shot?
Yep, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I haven't watched WWE since I haven't followed it since after the Attitude Era. I missed the whole ruthless aggression moving forward. I'm not interested in the product at all. But as far as what AEW is doing, as far as Champ said, I think it's a good thing that they're doing. They're grooming, all the up and comers like myself, guys like myself, and other guys, and that are grinding and giving them the opportunities, that, to be honest, is a bitch to get on, to get an opportunity like that in WWE. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
being said to what AEW doing, I think is great for the business.
Yeah.
As far as like the money stuff that this guy was talking about previously, like who cares, man? Just enjoy the product. You know what I'm saying? I'll argue about another man's money when he's putting that money in my pocket. Until then, fuck that. Just enjoy the show, man.
And AEW just picked up all of Ring of Honor's catalog too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're like what Vince doesn't realize is you're going to end up with everybody else banding together against him, and he's not going to be able to beat that.
Right.
And then you look at the stuff that AEW is doing right now, how they're doing like joint ventures with Impact. Right. And then New Japan, you know what I mean? Like when would you ever see a WWE show doing collaboration with New Japan?
Never.
You know?
Yeah, that person has to leave New Japan and sign a contract with WWE.
Absolutely.
And then meanwhile, AEW, you have their like one of their mid card champs is defending his belt and then dropping it to someone in AEW,
in another company. Absolutely.
And it gets defended there for a while until someone comes and brings it back. And again, same thing with Impact. I mean, they just lost the titles finally back in within the company now.
Right.
It changed hands twice, and Moose, who was at the last ICW event, was present, but still they're tag champs and everything. Both of those you saw them on AEW. You didn't see that, and that was crazy. I mean, the closest we got was I think when Taz showed up.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but that was already about to be acquired. You know what I mean? Right. Like it was already a wheels in motion thing. That was the closest thing we ever got.
Right.
So yeah,
Shit, I'll take it back even further. Shit, I remember when Ric Flair showed up in WWE with the big gold.
Yep.
You know, and they used to blur it on TV, because they just didn't want to show that shit.
Right. Yeah, they blur it. Just the only and then was it the Medusa incident where she dropped it in the trash? That's I think that was it. I mean, those literal three things. That's it. And it was all bury. It was all intent. 100%. It was all intent to bury, not bring up as the way that the ICW handles things.
Like it's not going to be the same kind of war where we saw with WCW and WWF back in the day. It's not going to be the same kind of war because it's a different battlefield right now.
It is.
You have a lot more different outlets. Like kayfabe is not what it was. Like we know way too much that goes on behind the scenes and everything else now.
Yeah, it's too much.
But it's a different battlefield. But the thing is, on that battlefield, there's a lot more fronts to be fought.
Right.
And from what I hear too, AEW is going to be coming out with their version of like the WWE Network. There's going to be, and like acquiring the Ring of Honor catalog is something that helps with that. Right. And you're telling me New Japan's not going to start streaming their stuff, Impact's not going to start streaming their stuff through the AEW network? Get the hell out of here. Of course they're going to do that.
Yeah, it would be smart for Impact Plus to join with
the enemy of my
AEW.
Enemy, is my homie there, know? So, like, Vince really is, if he truly thinks that these guys aren't a threat to his pocket,
right?
Then he's wrong. Obviously, a war would help both their pockets, but at the end of the day, somebody loses.
Right. Agreed. So, another thing in wrestling news, one thing we were sharing as well on our Wrestle Fandom page is Jim Duggan is having surgery.
Yeah.
Because he has prostate cancer or colon cancer?
Prostate. I believe.
So, good vibes your way, sir.
Well wishes of the hacksaw.
That's crazy. No one wants to hear about a cancer diagnosis. That always sucks.
Also,
cancer's an infidel, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That it is.
Other news that dropped today too is John Moxley.
Yeah.
He checked himself into an alcohol rehab inpatient, and I think his book comes out soon too. But he apparently he's getting help for a problem with alcohol, and you know what? I commend him because there's a lot of people who, between drugs and alcohol and everything else, who definitely never get the help that they need or stick with it. And like, all bullshit aside, it's a very, very horrible thing, and it's addiction's a horrible disease. And to have the balls to stand up and say I need help, that's a huge first step. And the next step is always the best step. And I wish him a very, very speedy recovery, and him and his family the best, because he's got a new daughter too. And
and then you see it a lot. Any type of dependency that comes with older people who have been wrestling for a very long time.
Absolutely.
With drinking or them prescription drugs into
especially a lot
else.
of the guys that came out of from the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
A lot of them had problems with pills and drink. Like, look at Jake the Snake, Shawn Michaels. Like, a lot of them had very, very severe issues with that kind of stuff, and it truly is no joke. And if you think you got a problem, like, there's no shame in asking for help.
Yeah, talk to somebody. You don't want to, no one wants to end up an addict. So we understand pain. I understand pain. I mean,
Obviously.
look at me. This is the second time I've had to be in a neck brace, and I'm sick of doing shows in neck braces, Joe.
First time wasn't because of me, if you recall correctly.
All right. Well, that's true.
All right.
All right.
But I can continue to keep you in that if you don't shut your mouth.
All right. Well, all right. So, is there any other wrestling news? We got anything else? Blaze, is there anything else? Anything you want to plug there for yourself? Do you have any other events? Any other feds you're attacking right now? Or are you keeping it strictly ICW? What
I'm actually. So this Saturday, November 6th, I'll be at make my debut at Atlantic All-Star Wrestling at Mooresville, PA.
Okay.
And I'll be up against some jerk job named Matt Quay. I never heard of, but I plan on destroying him this Saturday.
All right.
And then I'll be back on ICW November 20th.
November 20th. Yeah.
I'll be defending the Middle Eastern champion, the Middle Eastern Championship. So I'll have some herb on my plate, and the results are going to be the same, Yeah. And I'll leave the building still champ. But besides that, I'm just going to continue to grind, and
if you could do us a favor,
keep spreading the filth.
Yeah, if you could do us a favor, when your next opponent is announced, send us a video. Let us know how you feel about whoever it is. I'm sure if I had to guess, whoever it is unworthy regardless. But just let us know about who it is and how you feel. So
absolutely.
We very much appreciate that. So now we usually do our next big thing here that we like to end every single show with is this right here. Top 5, and now we thought that, considering that you in the rest of the Conspiracy Horsemen are ruling over ICW, we thought, I know we've spoken about factions before, we've done top 5 factions, but we wanted to do strictly heel factions for this one. Like,
okay,
they came out as heels, they were always heels, they started, they ended. Do you happen to have like a number 5, and we'll go all the way, we'll take turns and go all the way down to 1?
I do actually. So number 1, I'm going to have to say it was the NWO.
Yeah. They were my number 1.
Yeah, NWO played a big role in my life, especially when I was in junior high school. I'll give you a little story. So my junior high school math teacher, his name is George Napolitano. He was actually he was an editor for Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Okay.
He was also our math teacher. So, he'd always be gone for the shows. We'd always see him on TV, on Nitro and like Raw and the pay-per-views and shit. So that's one awesome. Time me and a couple of my friends, you know, we gave them money to get us NWO shirts. You know, we were NWO marks and shit like that. And at the time, you know, the only way you could get the shirts was through going to a WCW show. And, you know, they weren't coming around New York City, you know? Mm-hmm. So he came and got us shirts, and we were all in the hallway. It was like 7 of us with NWO shirts. We're doing the little Too Sweet sign in the hallway, and they called the cops. And they had me as the ringleader, saying I was starting a gang called the NWO in school.
No way.
It's funny you say that. I got a very similar story. Shout out to my boy Drew Rose. I know he watches it. He lives out in Ohio now, but I lived on Kadena Air Base in Japan during 7th grade, which was during the NWO era. And me and all my friends, we'd get together after school. We'd go to somebody's backyard, do backyard wrestling and stuff. And we also had started our own version of the NWO. Going around doing the Too Sweet. We all had our own wrestling names and everything. And this group of BMXers called themselves the Biker Mafia crew. And I remember walking home from school one day, and this kid, we were passing the high school, the kid started flapping his jaws at me. I ran over to him, I grab him, I start fighting him. His sister's boyfriend, this big senior, pulls me off of him, and I end up in the principal's office at the high school for fighting this kid. And this kid's sister's friends come up and like, oh, that's kid with the little doggy with the NWO. And I stand up in the middle of this principal's office, start screaming at him. I go, the NWO, he's part of the Biker Mafia crew, and you guys are making fun of me. And I try going after the kid again. I end up getting suspended from school. Later on that weekend, me and my friends were out. We told our parents we were playing Manhunt, but in reality, we were toilet paper and egging people's houses. And we show up home. And we had run through the elementary school. All the classroom hallways were outside because where we were in Japan, it's very hot. Like, you don't get snow and shit. Right. So I get home, and as I get home, I see a military police car parked outside my house. And I'm like, huh? I walk in. Apparently, when we were running through the school after we got done toilet paper in this girl's house, this kid that I had just got suspended from school and his friends saw us running, thought we were running at them to go jump them, and this kid ran 2 miles home, left his bike at the school, called his mom. His mom called the cops that we were chasing him around base trying to jump him, and I almost got arrested and sent to military school because of my gang that I had in school, very similar to you, Blaze, because of the NWO. So that actually, it was a big influence on my life and me wrestling and like all that stuff. Like it very, very similar. And like honestly, what better heel faction was there than the New World Order? Everybody knows this.
Exactly, man.
You got the Hulk Hogan doing the air guitar.
Yeah. And I was
Hall, Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Oh.
And growing up, I was never a fan of Hogan. I know, like a lot of kids growing up, looked up to the whole. I hated Hogan. I learned to appreciate him when he turned heel and became Hollywood Hogan, and I was like, okay, this is where it's at, you know.
Hollywood Hogan, I prefer way more than Hulkamania.
I didn't like him either.
I was always a Roddy Piper guy, so I never liked Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, number one, I'd go with NWO. Number two, I'm gonna go with the Horseman.
Right. Yeah,
you know, I've always been a fan of the Four Horsemen, you know, especially like the Flair, Arn Anderson,
right.
Wyndham, you know, that version.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have to go with D-Generation X, baby.
Yeah.
I got 2 words for you guys. Suck it. Like, what? Like, honestly, they were obviously WWE's version of the NWO that actually stuck around and worked and didn't fall apart, didn't recruit everybody in the world. Like DX did, even though they weren't as successful as NWO was, they were the faction that kind of stood the test of time because they didn't just invite everybody and everything in. They didn't try to become their own brand. They were their little gang of thieves that decided just that they were going to tear shit up. Yeah. One of the best promos of all time was Triple H and Hunter's apology of all the stuff that they weren't supposed to say, and like it was amazing.
Yeah, that was one of the best.
Their chemistry together to this day is still some of the best wrestling TV that you've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Number three, I'd go with the Heenan family.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, Bobby Heenan being one of my favorite managers of all time. You know, so I had to throw Heenan in there. You know, where he Had one of the
brain.
best factions in the late 80s and 90s. You know, he had all the top heels in one group, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How about number 4?
Yeah. So number 4, I'm probably going to go with the Dungeon of Doom,
Yep.
WCW.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, when Kevin Sullivan and, you know, Tiger Shark and the Giant and all these people, you know, that was a group of scary guys. And number 5, I'm going to have to go with Bullet Club.
I love Bullet Club.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for. I'm still waiting for that iteration with like Finn and AJ and Marty Scurll, all that. Like, I'm still waiting to the day where we have the real reunion between all of them. Like, instead of these like half-ass little like the club and everything else.
The club.
And I got put on to Bullet Club. Yeah, I got put on to the Bullet Club pretty late because they started 2010.
Yeah.
I didn't get put on to them till 2012. I was doing a prison bid. So I just used to read through them my magazines and shit. But when I came home and I started seeing like footage and shit on YouTube about, you know, with Prince Devitt and Tama Tonga and all these guys, I'm like, I was getting straight NWO vibes off the rip, you know?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're a clear homage to them.
Yeah.
One of my favorite heel factions from when I was a kid, and honestly, it's the first one that really stuck in my head, was the $1 Million Corporation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, $1 Million Man, IRS, that was something that was really the first time that concept of a heel faction like that like really like stuck out to me.
Right.
And like to have the whole theme and everything, like $1 Million Man, still one of these days, not one of the best wrestlers ever, but one of the best heels.
Yeah.
Like he.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Early '90s, he was that heel guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was. He was so good at a heel that when Virgil came out from his shadow and they had their match, like I remember like being huge on Virgil at that moment because you wanted Virgil to kick his ass.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you wanted like $1 Million Man, and that was the time of jobbers too. So you barely saw him get beat up. He was always, you know, slapping around jobbers and then putting them in the $1 Million Dream. Like that's
absolutely.
You know, so that was that was the yeah, that's one I don't think of, and same thing with the Heenan family because it's like, it's like, you know, they didn't use the name, you know what I mean? They were,
right.
It's not like, oh, we are this faction. It was just the Heenan family, where he had all the so that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never even thought to few I throw in the top 5 and other than ones we
Rick
talked
Rude,
about.
King Kong Bundy, Haku, you know, you name it. Like all these heels at the time, Heenan managed.
One of the ones that stick out in my mind too is the Nation of Domination.
I was just about to say Nation of Domination.
They were awesome. Like
the Nation was.
That was the pre-rock.
Yeah, the pre-rock.
Rocky sucks. Rocky sucks.
The original boom come out. This is the Nation of Domination. Pre-rock.
We are the nation.
It was
domination.
It was like, oh, they're gonna, you know, and then obviously, I mean, you got to go with the Ministry as well, and the corporation, and then the corporate ministry.
Every version of the corporation, and they've always been great. Like every iteration they've come out with, because they've redefined themselves so many different times. But it's always been like that. You had the McMahon Helmsley faction, you had the corporation. You know, like it's all been great.
Yeah. So yeah, any other factions anyone wants to mention that, you know, some of the greatest heel factions, or are we set with that?
I mean, you go back to the early '90s. WCW had a lot of heel factions too going on. Aside from the Horseman, you had the Dangerous Alliance. Paul Heyman, you know, he managed Rick Rude.
Yeah,
you know, when Rick Rude had his championship run in WCW. You know.
Yeah.
You had also the York Foundation. You had Teddy Long had his guys, you know.
Oh, Teddy.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know there was quite a few factions going around.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Again, you know, Champ, we appreciate you joining us. It was very big for you to come on our show. We want to thank our sponsors, Dippin Donuts. Joe, please don't hit him. Please don't.
I legally can't hit Dimitri anymore.
Rockin Horse Tattoo. If you need ink, give them a call. Ink and piercings, them up. And if you need T-shirts, you need your car wrapped, you need a poster, you need anything, hit up Seasonal Sports. Fred is the man, and he will absolutely hook you up. And we're picking up a new sponsor as well, and their promo slide will be up with us next week on Movie Madness, and we should be all set. You know, again, Champ, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. We're gonna see you then on the 20th, and yeah.
Are you freaking serious, Garrett?
Dude.
We just discussed this.
That was not me.
We just discussed.
Oh man, dude, subliminals going around.
You want
that was not me.
You want me to?
That was
you want
not
me
me.
to do this right now?
Hey Joe, hey champ, Fall back from the camera, man. He ain't doing nothing, man. You got some idiots sending subliminal messages, man. It wasn't Garrett, man.
Yo, don't tell me how to do my job here. I don't tell you how to do yours. Me and him need to handle this once and for all. I'm tired of this nonsense.
Man, sit your ass down and leave the cameraman alone, man. He ain't sending no damn messages. He obviously ain't got time to be entertaining you sending all these stupid messages.
Okay, first of all, you sit down, man. You don't tell me what to do. I'm not afraid of you.
Joe, don't start with the
okay?
I mean, I just told you to sit, and you just did that. Obviously, clearly, I'm standing. You're the one sitting.
Last time you did anything clean was when you kissed Ben's ass, okay?
All
right?
Joe, no.
I don't know. The only ass going on here is that kendo stick, which I'm going to be shoving up your ass if you don't shut the hell up.
Why don't you come down to the studio and bring it on?
Join us next week.
Oh, man. Don't make...
Hey,
listen.
I gotta